right, turning to campaign 2024, here's a question. Marco Rubio for vice president. There's been a lot of speculation for weeks that the Florida senator was under consideration.
But CBS News has learned that there is now increased scrutiny of Rubio and 3 other candidates. CBS News Miami's Jim DeFede is here now with the latest. And Jim, we're learning some of those other names as well. Who are they?
We certainly are. CBS News is reporting the Trump campaign has sent vetting materials to Rubio and 3 other individuals on the former president's short list: North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Now, asking potential running mates to fill out financial forms and questionnaires is very common in VP searches, but there isn't a lot of time. Trump is expected to announce his decision in a run-up to the Republican National Convention, which begins on July 15th. And Jim and Lauren, I will tell you that late today, Marco Rubio was asked about whether or not he received these vetting materials, and he sort of demurred. All he would say is that he has not spoken directly to President Trump about being vice president, so that dance is beginning, but we should be able to get an answer here in the next few weeks.
And following up on Rubio, why do you think he'd be one of the leading contenders for Donald Trump?
So look, obviously the Hispanic vote is critically important in this election. President Trump, when he ran in both 16 and 20, has done increasingly better in that community. Marco Rubio could help him with that. It's also seen that Marco Rubio is someone who could potentially appeal to Nikki Haley voters, that you know, they may see him as someone who is a little bit more stable, someone who is a little bit more experienced, a little younger, and so therefore more likely. But one of the things that's interesting is, you know, the counter to that is, if you look at Marco Rubio lately, just how much he clearly wants to be considered for VP, I want to show you a tweet that he put out just the other day after the verdict, you know, in which he says, "Our current president is a demented man propped up by wicked and deranged people willing to destroy our country to remain in power. It's time to fight fire with fire." So, you know, that is not something typically we hear from Marco Rubio, but it gives you a sense for how the stakes are rising, and he wants to be in the discussion and show that as a vice presidential candidate, he would be willing to do that sort of battle that VP candidates often get asked to do.
Yeah, kind of putting himself into the ring there to be willing to fight. So now, if he is chosen as Trump's vice presidential running mate, what happens to his seat in the Senate?
This is really interesting. Now, the law is a little bit murky, but generally speaking, it's believed that you cannot have a candidate for president and vice president from the same state. Exactly. And so since Donald Trump has now settled in Florida, you can't have 2 Florida men on the ballot. Now, the Rubio folks have said that you know, it seems if he's willing, Rubio will be willing to relocate. There's talk of him moving to D.C. I've got an idea that I also think is potentially in play, and this is not based on a lot of reporting, but it's important to remember Marco Rubio lived as a child in Nevada for 6 years. His entire family lived in Las Vegas when they lost jobs in South Florida. So he could establish residency in Nevada, which is a pivotal swing state. He could work on Hispanic voters there. Now, the real interesting question is if he has to move his residence from Florida,
can he be a Florida senator?
He can't be a Florida senator anymore, and so therefore he would have to resign from the Senate, which is another complicating factor, because then Donald Trump is giving Ron DeSantis the power to appoint his replacement. And does Donald Trump want to give a gift like that to Ron DeSantis?
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Should be interesting to see how it all shakes out, though.
Absolutely.
Jim DeFede, thank you so much.